People often ask me, how dangerous is your act? I think always the worst thing that can happen is that you die, but that's really the worst thing. And there's this whole range in between, so often I would probably prefer death. And this is something you have to embrace and deal with it. My name is Nick Beyeler. I'm a performance artist from Switzerland. I've always had a very adventurous heart, so as soon as I could, I moved into the wide open world. My aerial tube act actually didn't start with the tube at all, but at that time I didn't know what is going to be the apparatus. And then later I was introduced to a Swiss company, and they did very big set pieces, incredibly large structures. That just blew my mind, and that changed everything for me. It's one of those turning points in your life when suddenly you're like, oh, there's so much more we can do with that. And then together with Heidi Amisecker, we created my tube act, and I've been working with it ever since. I think as far as aerial apparatuses go, I think the tube is a fairly comfortable one. The challenge lies elsewhere. The tube has a character on its own, it's a beast on its own. It's this rich, morphing, constantly evolving piece of plastic that I came to love and hate at the same time. The material changes depending on temperature, depending on humidity. It may get more flexible, it may get more stiff, it may get more aggressive towards my skin. And you have to flow with it. You have to let go of that expectation that you have with what the tube is going to be that night. And it's actually a beautiful thing to discover as an artist or as a human. I have to remind myself, this is what it's about. It's about showing a struggle, it's about being vulnerable, it's about being exposed at the same time, displaying confidence in being vulnerable, in being exposed, and that is a very powerful thing. I was doing an exchange year in Australia where I followed a school for 1 year, and that's also where I got into graphic design. Being artistic and being creative and being able to create is of the biggest importance in all aspects of my life. So in many ways, being a painter and painting on a canvas or performing on stage, these are not two entirely different things. The way I paint it's a bit of ritual for me. I put on good music, I dance, I get into the mood, and then I paint. You may find pieces of my performance career in my artwork, and vice versa. Something can happen that we would call a happy accident, that you're like, oh, that's a blotch right there, but maybe I can work with it, and maybe it'll give me a texture that I wouldn't have had if I wouldn't have fucked it up in the first place. And that sort of helps me to become more courageous with stuff. And I think that's applicable for life as well. We have to just can do it, and if we mess up, we do it again, and we'll continue. And that then becomes a much more joyful experience for me. And that's sort of what I'm aiming for. I want people to enjoy my art and be surprised by it, or be baffled by it, or be challenged by it. And that's also what we are aiming for whenever we enter a stage. I hope that this act takes the audience on a trip, on an absinthe trip even. That is my hope, that the audience comes to the absinthe tent and they get blown away. We want people to have this childish sense of wonder. This is an escape into a beautiful world. And I believe that's what absinthe excels at.
There's so much more to discover in Circus Town. Check out more videos and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a trick. Do it.